Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our free webinar series this October. So I can see that there is still a lot of people in the waiting room, so we're just letting them in. So while we're waiting for everyone to settle down, please do type in the chat box where you are calling from or what organization are you representing this afternoon. So I can see that Angelo is here again. He's been an avid fan of the free webinar series of Positive Workplaces, and he's from National Teachers College. We also have Cicinio joining us this afternoon. We also have Sheila from FINMA. We also have Leonor, Richard, and Dante as well. So Mark Kevin is from Expressions University. So good afternoon, Mary, Leslie, Christine. Sherwin is calling from Legazpi. Rosemary and Beverly are from NGCP. Redentor is from STACC Binyan. So sa Laguna yung Binyan, tama ba, Redentor? We have Dexter joining us from RCI Makati. Mary Grace is from Iloilo. Ronel is joining us from Ateneo de Naga. I love how we all come from different industries. Meron from the academe, meron from the energy sector, meron din tayong from private and public or government sectors. Meron tayo si Jocelyn from La Union. We have Roxanne joining from Statesville Schools. We have Mary Grace from DSWD. We have Marty from St. Paul College of Ilocos Sur. Ayan. So I hope you are all feeling well on this Wednesday afternoon. Dito sa Manila, medyo cloudy. Hindi ko alam kung kamusta dyan, where you all are calling from, but I hope that you are all safe in your offices or even at your own homes. So I would love for you to invite your colleagues and friends who you think na magbe-benefit dun sa pag-uusapan natin, because mamaya may i-share kami sa inyo na gift from our partner this month if you are to attend all 3 webinars. So we're gonna give you at least 2 to 3 minutes pa. Share nyo sa kanila yung registration link and tell them we still have room for them in this meeting. Yan, we have Ophelia joining in from Marikina. We have Amira joining from Marawi City. We also have Zeus from Research Institute for Tropical Medicine. Ayan, we also have Jo Marie. So meron din tayo from the healthcare sector sa Tondo Medical Center naman. We have a lot of people joining in from NGCP. We also have someone from DENR. We also have Catherine from EK. Magical afternoon to you as well. Ayan. So we're gonna start in a few minutes. So make sure to invite your friends, your colleagues. Kung may mga classmates kayo, if we have college students joining us this afternoon. I think this is a topic that we can definitely use, lalo na, di ba, nasa 4th quarter na tayo ng 2023. So it's time to reevaluate our goals. Kung yung mga ginagawa ba natin, is it still aligned to our overall goal in life? We have Eileen joining from Antipolo. Del is from Davao. Good afternoon. We have Sharon from NGCP. Ang daming from NGCP. We're so happy to have you here this afternoon. And I think you're from the different branches ng NGCP because merong La Union, merong Zamboanga del Sur. We also have Giselle from West Metro Medical Center in Zamboanga. Mika is joining in from Nueva Ecija. And Maria is joining us from Surigao. So Ariel and Allison are joining from People 360 Consulting Corporation. Maricel is also from PK. I also saw Pauline. Hi, Pauline. Good afternoon. Yan, Pretty is also joining us from Bukidnon. Joel is from Cagayan de Oro. Noel is from NGCP. Okay, I think ang dami pang sumasama sa ating meeting room, but I think we can start so that our resource speaker this afternoon can already share with us what we're going to tackle. So again, welcome everyone to our October webinar series. And today we are going to discuss going back to purpose, rediscovering our why. So again, for those of you who are joining us for the first time, so I'm Gabby and I'm the Learning and Development Officer of Positive Workplaces. May I get a show of hands if meron pa ditong mga first time lang? As in first time nyong a-attend ever ng free webinars of Positive Workplaces. So si Virgilin, nag-raise ng hands, sina Sharon. Ayan, so we can also type it in the chat box if it's your first time. Pwede nyo ilagay 1. So we have a lot of people joining us for the first time. So hello. We're giving you that warm PW welcome. Welcome to our monthly free webinar series this October. Yan, so sina Hannah din, sina Diana, si Mark Jesper, si Rachel din from First Gen, it's her first time. Ayan, sina Jeffrey din. Okay, so I guess we're ready. And since there are a lot of you who are joining us for the first time, it's really my pleasure to introduce to you Positive Workplaces. So our mission is that we co-create cultures that enhance the well-being of the Filipino workforce. And lahat tayo at one point in our lives, we are joining that workforce and we really want to build that culture to ensure our well-being so that we will be able to do our jobs well and of course, lead very, very meaningful jobs. And we are able to do that through what we call the positivity ripples. And it actually starts with you. It starts with being able to lead yourself, to equip yourselves with knowledge and skills on how you can take care of your well-being. And syempre, hindi lang yung well-being nyo, di ba? Ang isang nakakalimutan naming sabihin sa inyo, ang Positive Workplaces is not just about being positive. Pero kung titignan nyo yung totoong pangalan ng company namin, it's actually positivity and productivity in the workplace. So I think those two go hand in hand. And when you are able to equip yourselves with knowledge, skills, and attitudes on that, you're able to lead others, you are able to build those cultures, and of course, you are able to build a positive workplace. So just some reminders. We hope that you have another device or you are ready to go to another link because we are going to be using Mentimeter this afternoon. And make sure that you have a pen and paper for your notes. And we highly encourage your engagement with the audience in the chat box because I think our resource speaker this afternoon have a lot of questions for you. So be ready to type in your answers and be sure to be respectful in the chat as well. And we are also going to give out evaluation forms at the end of the webinar to those in the Zoom room only. So sa mga magtatanong po kung meron tayong attendance sheet, wala po tayong attendance sheet during the webinar, pero we are going to issue the form or the link to the form at the end. So make sure that when you access the form, check the title, i-check nyo rin po yung email nyo, and ang pinaka-importante, i-check nyo po yung pangalan nyo. If there are typographical errors that appear in your certificate, kayo po yung nag-enter nung details na yon because all our certificates are automatically generated already. So kung ano po yung nai-issue nyo, hindi na po yun babaguhin on our end. So it's really part of that discipline that we want to instill. Now, it is part of leading the self. So make sure that you enter the correct name and of course, the correct email address. And if ever you have concerns about your evaluations, please do email us at engage@positiveworkplaces.org and we are going to entertain your inquiries until or up to 7 days after the event. So again, we are not issuing any attendance sheet during the webinar. All of the evaluations will be given at the end. So we hope that you stay until the end, because this October, we are going to talk about unleashing your life's most meaningful work. Ilan sa inyo dito ang alam kung bakit or para kanino sila bumabangon every day? Can I see yes or no in the chat box? Or pwede rin question mark. Kasi pwede nyo sabihin, Miss Gabby, kaya nga ako uma-attend ngayon kasi hindi ko talaga alam kung ano ang ginagawa ko sa buhay. So I'm happy to see that a lot of you already know. So maybe may mga realignment lang tayong kailangan gawin. And I'm also seeing question mark. So don't worry, because even kami sa positive workplaces, may ilan sa amin, question mark din yung sagot namin dito. So we're seeing a lot of yeses, and we're together with you if you are typing in a question mark. Sabi ni Dexter, para sa bills, I think marami dito sa pie. Kung may pie chart tayo ng ilan ng para kanino ka bumabangon ay para sa bills, kasama tayong lahat dyan. Ayan, thank you so much. So this afternoon, let's talk about unleashing your life's meaningful work. And I hope you get to join us in all 3 webinars, because our partner in management strategies will actually give you, okay, a free session if you are able to attend all 3 webinars. So this is open to 30 participants. So kung maa-attendan nyo yung all 3 webinars natin, kasama kayo sa raffle, para kayong may isang raffle entry to be able to qualify to that free event. Okay? And kung pwede lang, hindi ko nga alam, Miggy, kasama ba kami doon? Kasama ba ang Positive Workplaces team doon?
Oo naman.
So yes, so please do, if you still have friends or colleagues who you want us to join this afternoon, please do tell them we have space in the Zoom room, and sabihin nyo sa kanila na you will earn a raffle entry to that event pag nakakompleto kayo nung 3 webinars natin. So this month, we are going to talk about going back to purpose, rediscovering our why. Next week, we're going to build our personal brand and unlock our potential. And last, we are going to master our energy, making time for what's meaningful. And hindi ko na kayo i-keep dahil ako rin gusto ko nang makinig to what our resource speaker this afternoon will share. So this afternoon, help me welcome Miggy Rocos-Aballero, Partner and Product Portfolio Head of Management Strategies. Hi, Miggy. How are you?
Hello, Gabby. I'm feeling the pressure right now because there's more 100 of us here in this room.
Yeah.
Grab the share so we can begin, no?
Yes.
Please give me naman a heart kung nakikita niyo na yung aking screen. It should be a blue screen with our title, Going Back to Purpose. All right, sound good. Okay, hihinga muna ako. And good afternoon to all of you. Thank you for being here. It's such a pleasure and honor for me to be in front of you kahit virtually man lang. I also do want to thank Positive Workplaces for collaborating with us, kasi purpose ng pareho namin organizations, as you'll see later, are pretty much the same. And we do want to help organizations and individuals live out and find meaning in what they do every single day. So, I'm also honored kasi kung saan-saan tayo nanggaling dito, no? So from all over the Philippines. Meron po isa dito, you'll see him, he's actually in Italy now, but he's tuning into all of us right now. So all over the world pala tayo here today. And so di ko na patatagalin pa, and let's all begin our session on going back to purpose. So first of all, nasa Mentimeter na ako. So if I can invite you to whip out your mobile phones or just open a new browser, and a link will be shared with you on chat also. Conch, also from Poland. So Italy and Poland and the Philippines represent. Amazing. So let's all go to Mentimeter kasi didiretso tayo into a few discussions and questions as we begin this afternoon. And if you're there, please click the thumbs up button at the bottom of your screen so we know how many people are in. There's 400 of us here, so antay tayo ng kaunti, no? And 24, 26. The link is also in the chat box for those who haven't accessed it. See, habang dumadami, magpapakilala na rin muna ako sa inyo lahat. My name is Miggy. Zaballero. I'm a partner for a company called Management Strategies, whom I'll introduce to you in a moment. I've been doing this for over a decade already. And siguro sa tinagal-tagal ng panahon na yun, I'm proud to say that I've worked with thousands of people, not just in discovering their purpose, but in becoming and creating kinder workspaces for all. Dati rin akong teacher, so sa lahat ng mga teacher dito, hi to all of you because I know how hard the work is and I'm a very passionate educator. So I'm glad that we can get to connect over this webinar. Let me introduce myself in another way. I'll introduce myself using my purpose statement. And my purpose statement is this: to unlock truths so that we can co-create a world with more authenticity, justice, and kindness. I discovered this purpose a little close to a decade ago. And when I was able to draft this purpose statement, nagbago yung buhay ko. I recovered and I got out of burnout. I found more meaning in what I do. And my decisions at work suddenly became clearer to me. And so with this purpose, for all of you today who are listening in and tuning in, I hope that there's some truths that we get to unlock for yourself over the next few slides that I'm showing. At the same time, pagkabalik dito, pagkatapos ng session na to, you can go out there, be a kinder, more authentic, and even a more just person, not just for your colleagues and your co-workers, but even for the people you love. And so this is my purpose statement. Mamaya babalik-balikan ko yan at ikwento ko sa inyo how this has transformed me and how the purpose statement can actually lead to better engagement and a more engaged workforce and help you find more meaningful work. So that's who I am. The company, purpose-driven din yung company namin. We are a 31-year-old consulting firm and our purpose is to transform people and organizations so that together we transform society. We know that we are a small group with only about 70 consultants in our pool. But we know that working with and collaborating with organizations such as Positive Workspaces and working with all of you helps us. And if we can make the workplace and the workspace a bit kinder, we can transform society. And similar to our partners, culture din ang puso ng ginagawa namin. But we have a lot of other spaces in which we operate: strategy, leadership build, team building, capability, and our most recent addition, society. We've worked with some of the top companies in the Philippines and within the region. We've also had some global clients as well. And so it's a pleasure for me to be here with all of you. So ngayon, enough na about me and enough na about our company. Diretso na tayo sa pag-uusapan natin today. There's 3 things we'll achieve over the next hour before 4 o'clock hits. First, we'll reflect on 4 important questions for yourself. Dito tayo mag-unlock ng counting truths about ourselves. And then we'll also share with you a framework that allows and helps purpose unlock meaningful work. And then we'll give you a few tips and simple steps to start a more purposeful journey in your lives. I'm glad to have seen a lot of yeses when Gabby asked that kung sino ang may clear kung para kanino tayo bumabangon here in the workplace. And ngayon, kukunin natin yun at kakapture natin in a way that sana pagkatapos nito ganahan pa kayo lalo and you feel more engaged to be to do your work. No? So that said, diretso na tayo. Let's start with the 4 important questions. The first question I want to ask, and please, you can answer many times, what do you do? So what do you do? And the answer to this would be the roles that you play. It could be your job, but it could also be the other roles that you play in life. So for example, I am a senior consultant. I am a trainer. I'm also an educator. That's some of the things that I do. I'm also a husband and a father to 2 cats. I'm no kids yet, but 2 cats. I'm a proud father of them. I'm also a friend. I'm also a brother to 4 other siblings and a son to my parents. No? So what do you do? And yan, pumapasok na HR practitioner, employee, work from home, happy person, dedicated fur mom, hello to you, sister, daughter, friend, training specialist, breadwinner, happy person, learning educator, breadwinner, accountant, supporting your family. Ang dami at ang ganda tignan nung word cloud natin because every person in this room is wearing different hats, no? And so take a look at that. Thank you, Josephine. If you cannot type on Mentimeter, you can type here in the chat as well, and we will make sure that you're seen and heard. Mother and employee, husband, father, brother, friend, legal staff, and full-time mother. HR, happy sister and nanay, mother to a toddler, breadwinner, nurse, supervisor, and policymaker, solo parent, wife, mother, sister, employee, guidance counselor. Amazing. Take a look. I'll give you a few more moments to recognize and appreciate the diversity of the roles in this room, no? Ang ganda tignan. And everyone, I think I do want to highlight how, and I'll connect this in a moment, that our purpose statements, our purpose will ideally encompass all the hats and all the roles that we play. A purpose statement is not just for work, it's not just for family, it's not just for being a fur parent, but it's something that can be applied and can be lived out in all the hats that we wear. Kahit ano man yan, health admin nurse, employee, church leader, wife, mother, father, brother, HR with a heart, mother, software developer, therapist in training, binabasa ko lahat. And lahat ng ito, happy birthday, Ma'am Imelda, born on October 11. Happy birthday to you. Ka-birthday niyo po yung aking wife who's also celebrating her birthday today. So, amazing. So, ang dami, no? And later on, everyone, I invite you to, as we take a look at and reflect on our purpose statement, I invite you to think about all of these hats, all of these roles that you play in life, because ang goal natin ay mahanap yung connection ng purpose statement natin sa bawat isang role na ito. Sound good? So, tuloy na tayo for the second question. So, the second question is this. So, 213 responses. Second question for everyone is, what values are important to you? I put in a sample image on the slide where you will see sample value statements. Please choose. Pwedeng wala sa listahan. Please choose maybe 3 to 5 values that you feel are important to you. Sa akin, malinaw sa purpose statement ko, justice, authenticity, and kindness. Yung tatlo. Pero meron pang iba. So kayo, what are some of the values that are important to you? Okay. Thank you, Minerva and Christina chat box. Humility, gratefulness, respect, honesty, kindness ngayon nangunguna in the workplace. This makes me happy kasi nasa purpose statement ko yung kindness. So kapag ibig sabihin talagang we are kindred spirits here, and I'm so happy to be in front of all of you. Amazing. Kindness, loyalty, faith, respect, health, openness, trustworthy, ethics, enthusiasm. Kahit wala sa list, pwede kayong maglagay dyan. So don't be limited by the list. I know some of you already know what your values are. Partnership, perseverance, personal growth, friendliness, discovery, self-love, trust, in the chat box, trust, passions, respect, ethics, kindness, integrity, humbleness, humility. Beautiful. Let's wait for a few more. Inclusivity. Thank you, Pauline. Autistic, optimistic, responsible, kindness, respect, love, humble. Ang ganda. And so here you'll see how there's 400 of us here in the room, but there's a synergy of values of people and how important, what it reveals what's important to everyone in this room. And again, I invite you to remember, sana matandaan nyo later as we go through our content, what you wrote down here, because values play a big role in finding meaning for you. We find meaning in our work kapag our values are lived out, when our values are experienced, and when our values are not being challenged at work. We find it hard kapag ang value natin of kindness, for example, ay nava-violate in the workplace. Kapag ang family value natin, pinipigilan tayo to spend time with our family. That challenges us and that reduces the meaning we have in our work. So we now hopefully will learn how to live these values out more consistently, aligned with our purpose. So that's the second question. Ang ganda. 2 more to go. 2 more questions. I hope you're still with me. Next, what are your superpowers? So let me give a brief example. These questions, some examples here are, what makes you unique? What words and verbs describe you when you are at your very best? So for example, sa akin, one of my superpowers is humor. Second is kindness. Kasi yun naririnig ko over the past years when people describe me and how I interact with them. So ano yung special about you? What makes you unique? Good listener? Yes. Pampatulog ko po ang kape. And so very superpower nga yun, no? So what else have you heard about yourself from other people or from how you know yourself. How would you describe yourself? What adjectives would describe you? Empathetic, funny without being funny. I love this. Thank you for sharing. Visionary, active listener, strong, good leader and listener, caring for others and truth, calmness, kindness, compassionate, challenger, generous and helpful. Thank you for even the person who said challenger. Mahalaga yan in organizations. And if you are unable to bring out your challenger side in the workplace, then the meaning of that work for you reduces. So kailangan nadadala natin to. Empathic, all-out performer. Ay, gusto natin yan. Malapit na po mag-Christmas, Burr months na. So kung sino man to, hanapin natin siya kasi gusto natin siyang groupmate kapag Christmas party. Catherine, to heal someone in the chat box. Humble, says Lino. Humble, family responsible, challenger. Fair, says Gilbert. Compete, empathy, kindness, flexible, patience. Okay, ang dami pang lumalabas. Reliable, strong, fast learner, friendly, initiative, generous, prayerful positivism. Thank you for this. Kindness, prayerful, acceptance of limitations, good listener, empathic, perseverance, masipag at consistent. Kindness, kill them with kindness, risk taker, no matter how people drag you down, but still go on with my life, strong-willed, approachable, humble, ready to help, being true to myself, loving, madiskarte. Ang dami, ang gaganda. I can work 12 hours and up with the same level of energy, super energetic. I'm grateful for you, kind, benevolence, compassionate, empathic, alpha female, family-oriented. Thank you so much, everyone, for your generosity in sharing these answers. And I think later I will connect it back to purpose and meaning in that our superpowers, when we activate it or when our workplaces are able to activate it, when we feel that we can be kind, we can be patient, we can be humble, we can solve problems at work, then we find more meaning. So babalikan natin yan. And siguro ngayon, excited na kayo for the fourth question. The fourth question is very simple. Very simple. Let me switch the frame now. Ito. What impact do you want to have on others? Whether that be in your life, in the life of the people that you love, or sa greater world out there, what impact would you like to create? So sa akin, kita na yun in my purpose statement, to a world with more authenticity, justice, and kindness. Gusto ko gumubuo at mag-co-create ng world like that with other people. Contentment, inspiration, memorable, change, empowerment, and prosperity, being kinder to one another, realize that there's goodness in the world, compassionate, inspiration, changes, belief in humanity, unity, empathy, selfless servant leadership, change, faith in the Creator. I want people to become brave in speaking up for the truth, empowerment, change. Mas mahirap sagutin ng kaunti, no? Pero tignan niyo yung mga lumalabas. Ang ganda. To make people realize that contentment is key to happiness, opportunity, a joyful world, being self-compassionate, a new life, paying it forward, to be their safe zone, non-judgmental group of people, grit, to be an inspiration to help them unlock their full potential. These are amazing. Positivity, kindness, and contentment. I want to be a safe silence for a nobody. Help others understand themselves better, to be an inspiration to others, someone they can trust, bearer of God's love, make an impact to the world through tech, be calm and thankful amidst difficulties, to be able to share what my virtues are in person and at work, people whom I've touched their lives and are able to share to others as well as on what they have learned, infinite kindness, to be the start of joy and happiness, especially faith in God to move forward in life, to be a good example to others, critical thinking and consideration. I want to be an influence for goodness, discipline, and positivity, and I want others to love their uniqueness. Everyone, napakaganda at I feel so inspired reading the impact that you want to create. And in a moment, we'll all move out of Mentimeter and move into our discussion. Pero I just want to highlight how, if you look at every person in this room, there's 400, 500, or close to 600 of us here now. There's different values, but you can also see how each person wants to do something great for other people and wants to create a better world. And isn't that amazing? Wouldn't it be more meaningful for us if every day we find a way to create that impact we want? if you find a way every day to be a source of happiness and inspiration for others, if you find a way to spread God-centeredness, if you find a way to keep smiling and hide the pain and be an inspiration to all every single day, if you find a day to be a mental health advocate and inspire them to continue living, napaka-meaningful ng ating trabaho. No? So una, if you can acknowledge me, please give yourselves a round of applause for being so participative. Yan, palakpakan yung sarili nyo and thank you. Pusuan nyo lahat ng tao in this room. Let's give each other a public display of appreciation for all that you shared with all of us today. And nilipat na ako ng ating slide, no, para mapakita ko sa inyo yung bakit. Why are we here? What are we going to go through? And so iba na yung nakikita nyo slide supposedly on screen. Give me a thumbs up if you can see it. You should see me there. Ideally, you should see my face there na nakamask. Ayan. Okay. So, everyone, the 4 questions that you went through, it's actually, those are simple guides that we use to help, to guide everyone, to guide others in discovering their purpose. And while 1 hour is definitely not enough for us to craft or draft your purpose statement, I hope that the questions, as you reflected on it, are something that you can go back to so that you can live more purposefully. And kung yun nga, kung matukompleto niyo all 3 sessions, then some 30 of you will be given a chance to join us in drafting your purpose statements, just like how I presented mine. So, kwento ko sa inyo why and how the purpose journey began. It all started with this person on screen. His name is Simon Sinek. And he was one of the most popular thought leaders in the recent years. And in one of his TED Talks, he had an easel board, tapos he started drawing 3 circles. And he said that these are the 3 most important questions that people should be asking. Why, how, and what? And according to Simon, most people are clear about their what. And that was the first question you answered. What roles do you play? HR practitioner, mother, father, daughter, brother, nurse, right? And there are so many other roles, teacher, educator, right? And there are so many roles that you play that most people are clear about it. And we know it's clear for everyone because ito yung usually pinag-uusapan natin when we introduce each other, when we meet other people. Hi, what do you do? Where do you work? And so it's clear to everyone. Now, that said, sabi ni Simon, while most people know their what, only some people know their how. And if you notice, the how are the second and third questions that we talked about. Yung values, what values are important to you, and at the same time, what superpowers do you hold? Not everyone is aware of that and how they use it, because our how enables us to live a unique and meaningful life. What's an example? In our work, in our field, in the consulting and training industry, kung titignan mo, I'll go back, kung titignan mo lahat ng job descriptions namin, mga consultants at trainers, it would all be the same. That's our what. Pero our how would be very different because we bring our uniqueness, our strengths, our talents into what we do, and that makes a uniqueness stand out, and that makes the experience one of a kind for everyone who experiences our consultant. So kung paano nyo makita, iba yung makikita yung consultant from our end next week and in the coming weeks, kahit na lahat kami galing sa management strategies. Because we use our values, our strengths to live out our how. Now, only some people know that, and that's why those questions were asked, so that you can reflect on it. Because ang maganda doon, pag nalalabas niyo yung how niyo, you feel more engaged, you feel more connected, you find more meaning in your work. And the last one is, kung konti lang, mas konti ang makakaalam ng how, sobrang mas konti ang may alam ng why. If you notice, there were about 100 plus 130 for the first 3 questions, 140, 150. When we went to the third one, mas kumonte yung sumagot. And that's normal. That's normal because very few people at this point, no matter what age they're in, discover or know or have clarity on their why. I myself discovered my purpose statement. I was close to 30 years old. So hindi ako bata when I discovered it, when I articulated it for myself. But it's never too late. When I discovered it, when I articulated it clearly, it really transformed my life and it gave me more meaning in what I do. And so balikan natin to, no? On chat box naman tayo ngayon. On chat, please, let me know, bakit tingin nyo mahalaga na we start with or have clarity about our why? Yes, Zoe, Japanese concept called Ikigai. Kasama rin to. It's also a version of purpose that we advocate for and we teach. So Ikigai, purpose, golden circle, pare-pareho silang ina-advocate. So in the chat box, please type, ano sagot nyo dito? What's the benefit you think of being clear with our purpose, our why? Camille, so we can spend our limited time on earth wisely. Oops, sabay-sabay. Okay, mas-challenge yung pagbabasa ko dito, pero kaya natin to. Mark Kevin, it will give us a sense of fulfillment and set goals in mind. May, our why will be our roadmap, driving force, sabi ni Fe. Eunice, main motivation on why we keep going in life. Christine, to know where we are going through the day. Importance of direction, sabi nga ni Imelda. Ivy, to know how to move forward and do your job more productively. It keeps us going. You have direction in what you do, to be guided. Ang daming direction, so tama tayo dyan. Hindi po yung one direction na band, pero direction in life, purpose-driven life, fulfillment. If we know our deepest why, we know our purpose in this life. To understand and have direction, roadmap, path to success, uplift grateful awareness, drive our energies and motivation to serve as our guide to reach our goals. Para babangon ka palagi for it. It helps us point out the purpose, what it's for, guide our future. You lead your life with meaning and right direction, so that we can also know our house in life. Thank you, Mika or Micah. Please let me know how to pronounce, if I pronounce your name correctly. Maria will be guided by our decisions. Jennifer, so when we get lost with our purpose, it will remind us why we are doing what we do. When we are sidetracked with life, sabi ni Joanne, we can always go back to our why. Kung meron nga pala kayo nagustuhan na sagot dito, and if meron kayo na feature na yun, pwede nyo i-thumbs up at bigyan ng public display of appreciation, PDA, yung mga sumasagot. Kasi ang gaganda ng sagot ng mga kasama nyo here in this room. And so we're learning not just from me and from each other, but also more importantly from each other. Tama lahat ng sinabi nyo. The purpose statement can give us direction, can help us manage our energies. Maganda yung sinabi nung start here. I will echo it back. So we can spend our limited time on earth wisely, says Camille. There's so many things we could do, so many directions we can take. The purpose guides us so that we can remove distractions and focus on what is truly important for us. And when that happens, meaning comes out. There's more meaning in what we do. So yan yung mga sinasabi. To know our duties and purpose in life, it guides our actions and it helps us make better decisions and inspire others. So tama kayo lahat. And these are all beautiful answers on why purpose is important. No? Let me share a little bit more about purpose. And there are a few things that we want to clarify about purpose. First, purpose, it's not a goal, nor is it an aspiration. What do I mean by this? A purpose is not something you aspire for and reach. Hindi rin siya KPI or key performance indicator na susubukan nating abutin. It's not an aspiration. It's not an imaginary idea of who we can become. No, it's not. Goals are different. We can have many goals in life, but all the goals are aligned towards one purpose. You can have one purpose and you can have 20 goals around it. What do I mean? Yung purpose statement ko, babalik ko doon. Unlock truth so that we can co-create a world with authenticity, justice, and kindness. Yung isa kong goal, maging one of the best consultants and trainers, not just in the Philippines, but in the region. Yung isa kong goal, gumawa and create many tools that I will make available to the public on how to not just discover purpose, but work on their emotional intelligence and so much more. There are so many other ways that there are so many other goals that I aspire for, personal goals, professional goals, that all are aligned towards my purpose. No? So yan yung reason why it's not a goal, but a purpose statement can have many, many goals that will allow you to live your life well. And what makes a purpose statement a purpose statement? A purpose statement is actually an origin story. Jeffrey, tama ka. Maybe our goals are our house. Kasama yun doon. Tama ka, Jeffrey. So that is where some of the goals come out. Ito yung goal ko, ito yung how ko para ma-live out ko yung purpose na to. No? So it could be in your role, in your family, and in everything. And balikan ko to, yung purpose natin, origin story. What do I mean by this? Hindi natin siya hinuhugot or ini-imagine out of thin air. It's actually within us already. That's why if you notice the 4 questions we reflected on, we're all about who we are. And we're all about how we know ourselves and how people experience us. Because nasa sa atin na yung purpose natin. We've already lived it out. It's now just a matter of capturing it and becoming aware para araw-araw we're conscious in our decisions, in our work, and in the role that we do. And I'll show a third one about purpose, no? And it's really our purpose. This is my favorite explanation of what purpose is. Our purpose is who we are at our very best. In those moments when you were at your very best as a person, as a human being, as a colleague, as a father, as a mother, those were the moments that perhaps you were living out your purpose really well. And ang role namin as consultants and trainers is to guide you in capturing that, yung kung sino ka at your very best, at make you aware of it so that you know that as you do your work, as you fulfill your different roles in life, you can always try to be close, if not at your very best, every single time. And that's where meaning comes in. Purpose is the key, one of the main keys that unlocks meaningful work. And it's been validated by Forbes, HBR, and even McKinsey, no, na sometimes people go through their work without understanding a deeper sense or without having a deeper sense of why they're doing what they do. And that oftentimes leads to burnout, that oftentimes leads to frustration. And so it's helpful for everyone to reflect on what gives them meaning at work. And as I mentioned, hindi natin goal today to draft your purpose statement kasi 3 hours long yon or half-day session yon at the very least. Pero go back to the 4 questions that we ask you to reflect on: your values, your superpowers, the impact you want to create, and even yung roles that you want to play. And ask yourselves, am I able to live this out currently in whatever I'm doing? Am I able to experience kindness? Am I able to experience humor? Am I able to show my humor? Am I able to show my being a challenger? Is it being appreciated at work? Because if the answer there is yes, then meaningful work is bound to happen for you. If the answer there is no, hindi ko to na-experience, then perhaps it invites more reflection for us. And so, purpose, one of the keys to that unlocks meaningful work. And so, thank you for everyone typing in the chat box. Di ko mabasa lahat, pero nakikita ko notifications. If I'm looking to my left on screen, that's where the chat box is. Okay. And yes, for some, it can be religious in aspect, no, to connect with our creator. For some, it could be very social in aspect. May iba social justice oriented, may iba very personal yung purpose. So as long as it's clear to us, and as long as na-experience natin, then that's where meaningful work comes out. So, ano yung benefit nito? One, purpose statement, it makes people come alive. Its purpose is kasi the reason you get out of bed every morning, di ba? Sikat na sikat si Nescafe dati dahil sa commercial nila on bakit para kanino ka bumabangon sa umaga. It motivates you, provides clarity, increases focus, and ignites your passion. It also builds confidence. Before I discovered my purpose statement, I was all over the place. I was a trainer and consultant already, but I was taking on many different jobs and many different roles just to survive. And so, dahil doon, napagod ako. But when I clarified and I articulated my purpose, suddenly everything became clear. That this role I don't need, this role I can let go of because I want to focus my energies, my finite and limited energies on what gives me meaning. So it gave me confidence to say no, say yes to different opportunities. Mika, tama. I think yung purpose natin hindi talaga hinahanap. It resides in us. Yes, tama yun. Kaya origin story siya. It's already within us and hindi lang tayo aware. And Lino, the original and real purpose of life is the goal of our God creator. For depends on your religious belief. It's part of that. If that's part of religious belief, then yes, it's very connected to your individual purpose too. And says Chris, without purpose and direction will sort of burn out. Tama ka, Chris, naranasan ko yun. And I'm hoping none of you also experience the same. At the same time, the third benefit is that purpose makes us more resilient because failure is a part of life. And it's part of what makes us human. And so one thing I noticed in my career is that whenever I wasn't connected to my purpose, every time I hit a road bump, parang ayoko na. Parang it's easy to let go of that. Pero if the work that I do is connected and aligned with my purpose, even if I make mistakes, I can learn from it because I know this is meaningful and I become better. And so that's what purpose can do for you also. The fourth one is it promotes longevity and prosperity. Actually, research has shown that a purpose can promote good health and longevity. This data is from 10 studies involving 136,000 men and women. And they revealed that those with a higher sense of purpose were at lower risk of developing conditions such as artery disease, strokes, and heart attacks. No, interesting. No, there's a study that promotes how purpose can actually prolong our life and living a life of purpose. And if that's not a powerful benefit of having clarity on our purpose, then what I don't know what else, diba? So, pero yun nga, going back, no one fully knows what our purpose is until we are made aware of it. And so whatever stage you are in life right now, take this as an opportunity to reflect. What's my purpose in life? And once you figure that out, I'll show you the fifth one. Hopefully you'll find more joy and meaning. The moment I discovered my purpose statement, it was really a transformative experience for me because suddenly almost all the things that I did made sense. And all of the things that I was doing was giving me energy rather than taking energy away from me. And so not just will it inspire you or keep you going, it will contribute more to your well-being. And hopefully this can be very helpful for everyone. No, I'll show a few more examples. I'm down to last 14 minutes here. Tapos Q&A tayo, no? Pero ang tanong usually, Miggy, paano ba magkaroon ng good purpose statement? How do you know if you have a good purpose statement? So, and Jeffrey, you need to have other purposes than just work. Actually, Jeffrey, sakto yung tanong mo na yan here or statement mo na yan here. A good purpose statement, it can be one, pero applicable hindi lang sa work, applicable sa lahat ng aspects of our lives. So not just work, it's a single statement that connects to all parts of who you are. So, what makes a good purpose statement? Infinite and inspiring. Pag binasa mo, kinikilabutan ka. Kahit ikaw lang, kinikilabutan ka, kinikilig ka kasi, na-inspire ka by it. Again, it's not a goal, but it's something that you want to live out every single day. And it's not easy, but you recognize that it's the journey of living that purpose out that's beautiful. Second, it's actionable. So for mine, it's unlocking truths so that we can co-create a world with more authenticity, justice, and kindness. Unlocking truths is key to my purpose statement. And that's what we're doing now, helping you unlock truths about who you are, your purpose, and your values even. And sana kayo, mahanap nyo rin yung actions that you can apply, not just in work, but in life, relationships, and others, tulad ng sinabi ni Mary Grace. No? So that's what makes a good purpose statement. What else? A third is focused on contribution and impact. Ito yung contribution, ito yung dinadala mo in relationships and interactions with people. It could be your challenging nature, it could be your humor, it could be, for me, ang dinadala ko yung pag-unlock ng truths kasi I bring questions, I bring reflections, I bring learning and insight to people so that they discover more about themselves. Yung impact, yun yung question number 4 na pinag-uusapan natin kanina. How do you want to change the people around you and the greater world in general? So having clarity on your impact that you want to create already is a good step in discovering and articulating your purpose. The fourth one is purpose uses affirmative language. Hindi negative yung purpose. It actually is part of the field of positive psychology. So it's really more affirmative and appreciative in nature. Kasi it brings out nga, di ba, who we are at our very best. So dun pa lang sa principle na yon of a purpose statement, it's very affirmative and positive already. It's also something simple and clear na kaya mong ulit-ulitin, kaya mong basahin and memorize mo at isa puso mo sa lahat ng ginagawa mo. Fun fact, here in management strategies in our company, all of our consultants have our own purpose statements. All of us introduce ourselves by our purpose statements, and all of us know also the purpose statement of our company, and we can connect our purpose to the purpose of our organization. And that's what makes our community, even though we're small, very engaged and the experience very meaningful for everyone who joins us. So yun yung what makes a good purpose statement. So, and thank you, J. Mark, for the insight. I think knowing one's purpose lessens a possible stress since you know what you want to do, what to achieve, and you are excited every day to keep doing it on a consistent basis. Tama ka. And gusto ko yung sinabi mo, J. Mark, yung excitement to keep doing it every day, grabe yung transformation that can create for people. No? So I'm down to my last few slides, but let me show you sample purpose statements from among the thousands of purpose statements that we've encountered in all of our work. Ito yun, there are 5. And I invite you to read them quietly and notice na sa lahat ng ito, if you read them out, you won't be able to tell what this person's job is. Kasi the purpose statement is not just about our jobs or what we do. Pero they are, going back to our criteria, inspiring. No, they are infinite. Hindi siya basta-basta mafu-fulfill. No? But it's also some of them are simple, madali lang tandaan. And hindi mo malalaman kung ano yung role ng tao na to. One person here is an architect. Another person here is a PR media consultant. Another person here is an accountant. I saw a few accountants here. And there's one person here who's a traveler and adventurer. And another who's a public servant. Siya yung may flowers, no? And linagay niya yan, print niya at nilagay niya yan sa workplace niya. Yes, Wena, the purpose statements are geared towards affecting the lives of others. Yes, that's the impact we want to, yun yung sinabi natin kanina na a purpose has a clear impact. Meron tayong gustong positive impact na magawa for other people. And that's exactly that. And sometimes it could be our families. That's perfectly fine. Sometimes it could be a greater world. And that's also equally perfectly valid. And that's the beauty of a purpose statement. So we can expand it however way we like, but we can also keep it within our hearts, as close and as simple to our hearts as possible. Because in this moment, baka yun yung kailangan natin i-live out. No? So these are just some purpose statements. Hindi natin goal mag-articulate ng ganito today. Pero if you can take a snapshot of this and try to... Oh, nawala audio. Let me check. Gabby, can you hear me?
Yes, it's okay.
All right. So I invite you to, if you want, take a picture of this and try to draft one for yourself. And again, promote na lang din ako. If you do want to encounter and experience a purpose session with us, then try to attend all 3, and then Gabby and I will be, and the team will be working on selecting who the lucky 30 are. So, ito yung sample. And Chris, ito may question. You've done your purpose and action part, but still the people involved or surround you doesn't satisfy them. Paano to i-resolve? Sagutin ko na to agad, Chris. As long as you are living out your purpose, a lot of the times we cannot control how other people react. And even there are moments where we do our best to live out our purpose. And the change we want to see in 1 or 2 people that we encounter did not happen. Then, to be honest, that's okay. Ang mahalaga, nilive out mo yung purpose mo in that moment. So, and I'll use myself as an example. World is more authenticity, justice, and kindness. Part of my work, Chris, is to facilitate inclusion sessions for workplaces. And na-encounter ko na some people who resist the notion of inclusion and still give in to their biases at work. Pero in that moment, in that room, maaring may isa or dalawa na di naniwala sa akin or hindi na nakuha yung impact possibly. But are equal, there's probably more people who were were open to the message and were transformed by it. Or at least, na-plant yung seeds na magbago. And dahil doon, na-live out ko yung purpose ko. No? So, yes. Thank you, Lino. Okay, read the Story of Donkey. Hindi ako sure dyan, pero babasahin ko lang yan after. So, what else can I share with you as we end? One, to live a purpose more intentionally, to find meaning. If you can find time, articulate a purpose statement and share it with others. When I first discovered mine, I shared it with the people that I loved. Sabi ko, ito yung purpose statement ko. What do you think? And they said, Miggy, ikaw na ikaw yan. Or someone said na, Miggy, someone valuably said, Miggy, I can see it in you, but I don't experience it yet. And that was someone who was very close to me. And that was an awareness exercise for me na, uy, I might be living out my purpose well at work, pero not yet as a brother, not yet as a father, not yet as a husband, not yet as a son. So my purpose I intentionally had to live out to make sure that I live it out in all the roles that I play. Second thing, so how naman, constantly reflect on your unique strengths and abilities and find ways to activate it in your various roles. So yung strengths mo, yung values mo, yung uniqueness mo, kahit wala ka pang purpose statement, sometimes if you're able to live these strengths out at work, you find more meaning in what you do. And that's okay. No? And now, the third one, it's the what? Find an aspect of any role that you want to be more intentional about. And it could be, for example, my role as a partner in the company, or as a husband, or as a brother, or as a son. And pipiliin ko yun, and I want to be intentional about it. And I'll be intentional about it by focusing on one aspect, listing down the result I want to create for myself and the people around me in that role, and try to live, refine, and rediscover my why. You know, the purpose statement I shared with you a while ago, it took me 3 years to find the right words for it. Mahaba yung first version ko. Pero the essence was still the same. Pero as I lived and refined and rediscovered my why, nahanap ko yung tamang salita na umabot sa point na I knew this was the right purpose statement for me. And to answer July's question, is our purpose we continuously do in life, we continuously try to live it out. Hindi naman consistently 24/7. There are moments where what you do has probably nothing to do with your purpose. But in the most meaningful and most time-consuming parts of our lives and most energy activities where it needs most energy, then that's where our purpose can really help us, no, and build our resilience. So I think 3:57, I'm right on time. We're about to enter Q&A. So, sige, sagutin ko na muna itong tanong ni Dante. Is purpose differs for every intention you want to get? So Dante, ito yun, I think we discussed this at the start, na we differentiated purpose from goal. Yung purpose, hindi siya goal, pero a purpose statement can have different goals and intentions you want to get. So, maaring yung goals mo, yung intentions mo are part of the how question, pero yung why mo can remain the same no matter what you do in life. Now, first and foremost, before we enter Q&A, there's more than 600 of us here. Salamat sa pakikinig sa aking mumunting TED Talk. It's been a pleasure here engaging with you in the chat box and at the same time answering your questions and reading your insights. I do want to end my portion with this quote by no other than Gautama Buddha. Sabi niya, your purpose in life is to find your purpose and give your whole heart and soul to it. And I didn't know this back then, pero when I discovered my purpose, since then, all I wanted to do was give my whole heart, all my soul into living that purpose out. And when I did, that's where I found meaning. That's where I found joy. And I can only wish the best for everyone that I meet, because I feel that with a clear purpose, it can actually change people's lives. So maraming salamat. Thank you for listening. I'll turn the floor back over to Gabby so we can have our Q&A for all of you.
Yes, thank you so much for that very inspiring message, Sir Miggy. I think ang daming nakuha ng learners natin this afternoon, and they're even sharing their own parang mga guideposts or yung mga quotes that they live by, especially when they're trying to live out meaning. So let me just read some. Yung sinabi niya to live a happy and fulfilled life. Don't pursue happiness, pursue meaning and purpose. Tsaka yung mga the greatest tragedy in life is not death, but living without a purpose. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. And I know that Miggy already started answering some of your questions. So if you want to ask more about how you can draft your own purpose, you can join us over at pigeonhole.at. So you can either open a new tab, type in pigeonhole.at and enter the passcode purpose. You can scan the QR code you can see on the screen, or you can even just click on the link that we will be sharing in the chat box. Yan. Parang ang dami natin pwedeng sundan dito, no? Miggy. But I actually, someone sent me a personal message na question for you. So maybe we can start with that while we're waiting for others to turn in their questions. So Miggy, what obstacles or challenges have you encountered on your journey to discovering your purpose, and how have you overcome them? Oh, you're still on mute.
Oh
There
my
you go.
God, thank you for that wonderful question. Sakto malapit na mag Miss Universe, no?
Yeah.
I'll try to answer in 30 seconds. But one burnout was the biggest challenge that I had to overcome before I discovered my purpose. Kasi back then, I think I felt that I knew I wanted to quote unquote change the world. And hindi naman nagbago yun. Pero dahil hindi ko na-articulate pa, lahat ng activities, tingin ko can change the world. At so, oo lang ako ng oo sa lahat. Until na-realize ko, I was so tired, I was so burnt out that I had no more energy for myself and the people who matter to me and whom I love. And the purpose gave me clarity to overcome that burnout. It didn't happen overnight, but it was really a big challenge that only, I think, a purpose statement was help jumpstart for me to get out of that. Madami ring iba, meeting people who have very different values than mine, pero in that moment, nasa purpose statement ko, di ba? Kindness, authenticity, and justice. So if I treat them kindly, even if they are different from me, then I've lived my purpose out. So, yun yung, sana nasagot ko yung tanong mo. Thank you for that wonderful question.
Yes, I think ang maganda dun sa point mo, Miggy, na parang when we know our purpose, or like when we discover that, we know what we say yes to and what we say no to. We're not, and feeling ko related dito yung managing your energy kasi hindi naman lahat pwede natin gawin, di ba?
Correct.
Yan. So I think that answered that particular question. So ang dami nang pumapasok dun sa pigeonhole natin. So maybe we can answer the top voted one.
Sure.
So it's, how do you cope with failure?
Okay. So the good thing about the purpose is that it makes you more resilient around failure. Because having a clear purpose statement gives you a reality check in a way that, for example, I know that in co-creating a world with more authenticity, justice, and kindness, hindi lahat mag-agree sa akin eh. And some will react violently to it. Or sometimes I'll try something out pero hindi yan yung tamang way to advocate and live out my purpose. And that realization na I'm still doing what I can to live out my purpose and mistakes are inevitably part of it, then that gives me a chance to bounce back. And coping with it, first, feel it. Ramdam mo pa rin na even if you are living your purpose out and you made a mistake, sit in the feeling and understand na it's normal to feel disappointed, angry, frustrated with what just happened. And then, give yourself the time and the space. Tapos, when you're ready, angkas ka ulit sa purpose mo and try again. And so, important to recognize the feeling and the emotion. And then, when you're ready, jump back on it. That yung when you're ready, iba-iba yon per person. Some faster, some take slower, but that's perfectly fine.
Yes. I think that's very important because some of us tend to jump to solutions agad. Diba? Parang we don't give ourselves time to sit with the uncomfortable feelings.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
Yeah,
So be kind to
so
yourself also.
yes. We have another question here, and I think maraming Pilipino na makaka-relate dito. Can one's purpose be dictated by other people who are important to you, like your parents or your spouse? And siguro if we do let it be dictated, what can can you paint us a picture of what can happen?
Okay.
Yeah.
Great question. So, not dictated because at the end of it, pwedeng, kasi ang purpose statement, first and foremost, it's yours. So, kailangan mo tanggapin at, at,
Mhm.
at, at i-accept for yourself. Now, can it be dictated? Perhaps. But if it's not accepted, then it will not become anyone's purpose statement. However, your parents, your spouse, your loved ones, your education growing up, your experiences growing up can actually shape and influence the purpose statement you live by. What do I mean? One of the questions we ask, for example, in helping people draft their purpose statement is talk about a person who has been the biggest influence in your life and and share what they did for you. Because in those moments you probably picked up the beautiful things or the about these influential people in your life, and you want to live that in the same way. At pag tinanggap mo yon at okay yun sa'yo, then that's your purpose statement. Apologies, nagtakbuhan yung mga pusa ako, nagulat sila. Pero that's the answer to your question. It will influence but not necessarily dictate unless accepted.
Yeah. So meron din tayong autonomy kumbaga na
Mhm.
how much of it will be let parang ano yung influence na iti-take natin from the people around us.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
Salamat sa mga nag-affirm sa chat box. Tama kayo dyan.
Yes, we live in a collectivist community, sabi ni Ivy. They can influence your purpose. Pero it will still depend on you.
Hmm?
Yes, and ito I think a lot of people also voted on this question, Miggy. How do we reconcile living out what we perceive to be our life purpose with realities in terms of being practical and, you know, the parang economic needs of each one of us in the world?
Ang gaganda ng mga tanong ng participants natin.
Kaya,
First, this is a tough question to answer.
it is, it is.
The reality is, kailangan natin mabuhay if we want to be able to live out our purpose statement. What do I mean by this? And it will be different per person, but there are some people who, upon discovering their purpose statement, want to let go of everything
Yeah.
and then just pursue it. Iba yun sa passion, di ba?
Mhm.
And when I answer this, it has to be, tama si Virgin, sustainable, but at the same time practical for you to live out your purpose. Hindi ko malilive out yung purpose ko well if hindi ko alam kung paano ko kakain mamaya. So we attend to our basic human needs first. We make sure that our cups are full so that we can live out our purpose more for others.
So for some, diba, it's a privilege check din na
Correct.
some have those privileges na we can directly work on our purpose agad-agad. But there's
Yes.
also no shame to be, alam mo yun, alam natin na we're working towards that purpose, but we also need to be grounded in reality that there are also other needs that we need to satisfy.
Correct. And when that was asked of me before, sabi ko, unahin niyo yung pamilya niyo at pangangailangan niyo.
Yeah. And that
At
is a
pag
purpose
napuno
in
niyo yun,
itself.
that is a purpose in itself. And
Yeah. Yes.
pag napuno niyo na yun, then perhaps explore expanding your purpose to reach other people.
Yes. And kasama yun dun sa kindness na sinasabi natin, di ba? Na
Yes.
respect where you are at, at that particular moment. I think this is also another question. And we have a lot of questions coming in and we're so happy na we have time to answer them. So ito naman, I think maraming nakaka-experience nito na kahit may integrity ako or like may paninindigan ako, there are times that my purpose, my values will be challenged at work. how can we stay focused on it and not be wavered to keep going against my purpose? Yeah.
Grabe. Okay. One, so the beautiful thing is that, di ba, yung purpose statement, it applies to different parts and different roles that we play in life. Work is just one part of it.
Mm-mm.
So the first way to answer this is that if you're being challenged at work, reflect if are there any parts of your life where you're living your purpose out that you can draw energy from. Because perhaps the battle and the struggle is longer and harder in your work role. However, there are people na they keep trying, pero talagang constantly being challenged. They find a different way. When they've tried everything, they find a different career path, for example, or a different organization who will value them for their purpose and principles and values more. There will come a time, and I don't know when I don't know what the threshold is, but there are times where it would be clear na your value just truly does not align with someone or an organization, and that hard choice needs to be made na kailangan ko na umalis dito at maghanap ng ibang opportunity. Doon din pumapasok. That's why important for us to have these discussions kasi some people go through being challenged without knowing and having clarity on their values and purpose. How much harder it is for them, di ba? So that's yun yung pros and cons of it. Thank you, Virgie.
Yes.
Good paying job because I was hit by a moral crisis. So it's that when you're clear with your purpose and you know what your boundaries are, then you can make a decision.
Yes. Ayan. Ibang level yung mga questions natin today, Miggy.
Ah,
Can I
ganda.
just say, talagang it's parang metacognition, thinking about how we're going to apply all of these. Ito naman, siguro we can give, or can you give us something na we can do right away pagkatapos nito? Na parang what advice would you give to someone who is struggling to find their purpose in life, or they feel lost and unfulfilled? Like, siguro right after this webinar, ano yung pwede nilang gawin na simple step so that they can address this?
Okay. So, thank you for the wonderful person who asked this question. We start with ourselves and our self-reflection. Starting point could be what values are most important to you. Just outline the first 5 and that's perfectly fine. And then once you outline the first 5, tignan mo, paano mo ito live out? Let's say kindness. Bakit mahalaga sa iyo ang kindness? And ano itsura ng kindness to yourself and to other people? So for example, me, authenticity. What does authenticity mean for me? So you can start with as simple as defining your values. Second, I know sometimes it's a hard ask to get people to think about the bigger world when they're still struggling with themselves. So ask yourself, what will help me in this very moment? And ano yung purpose that I can live out that will help me find myself more? And take care of myself more. And eventually, as I go back to the analogy of filling our cup. As you fill your cup, then you're able now to spread and share more to others. Mahirap to run on empty. So punuin muna natin ating cups bago tayo share sa iba.
Yes. I would like to add something pa, Miggy, dun sa sinabi mo na finding your value. So baka dun sa iba, if nahihirapan kayo to find out your values, one of the things we use in positive workplaces or in the positive psychology field is yung tinatawag nating VIA character strengths, values in action. Diba? So parang it's something that you can explore. You can take a free survey para makita nyo, alin ba dito sa mga values na to? Kung nahihirapan kayo na mag-name ng values na yun for yourself. So you're just gonna take a survey and then makikita mo yung arrangement of all 24 character strengths para ano din kayo. Kasi I saw na ang dami nating first-timers, so maybe you haven't heard this. So it's a free assessment na you can definitely take. Ayan, maybe we can answer 2 to 3 more
Of course.
questions, Miggy. I am going to share with you. Hold on, let's mark this as answered. Tapos maybe you can choose. Ang dami pa rin pumapasok ng mga questions dito sa ating chat box. Ayan. So here are some of the questions. Let me know which one you would love to answer.
I think ano yung nasa top voted so far?
Top voted is how can we cope up in an
Dami.
unkind
Wow.
working
9 votes. So
environment?
sagutin natin to. How can we cope in an unkind working environment? So,
Yeah.
one, your clarity of purpose will help you detect if you're in an unkind working environment. So, dito na papasok yung different avenues and ways that we can, let's say, one, provide feedback. Meron ba tayong way na makapagbigay ng feedback sa people involved, no? That's a first. Second, reporting and protective mechanisms or policies within the organization. Meaning, is there abuse that's happening? Is there microaggressions that's happening? Is there ano yung unkindness na nagaganap? And baka there are already protective measures in place that you can use, that you can leverage as an employee, as a member of the company, na you can use para maprotektahan ka. The other ways to deal, so feedback is one, take a look at the systems and policies that protect the employees and the members because those are very important at work. And there are times where dahil sa purpose statement ko, for example, ako mismo nag-go one-on-one ako with someone na who I saw and view was showing unkindness towards others. And it's a tough conversation to have. But dahil nasa purpose statement ko mismo to unlock the truths, role ko to make that person aware na, hey, what you're doing is not right. And it's been hurting other people. And sometimes we need to be ready to take the blunt of the negativity that comes from calling some people out who will reject it, no? So there's that. So what if you may follow up dito, Ata? What if doctor superiors are usually used against you or a negative point for you? How to deal with that? Thank you. Okay. Whew. Dito, I think nag-venture out na tayo sa conversation ng purpose. Mas emotional intelligence ang kailangan natin dito. That's one. Then, very strong HR policies. Kasi kapag ganito, potentially may retaliation na gaganap, bawal yun in the workplace. So, ano yung measures ng HR? Pwede ka ba mag-report sa ibang tao or skip level, meaning superior ng superior mo, doon ka lumapit, who can intervene. At some point, boundaries should be, if change is not happening, then boundaries should be set. That's your boundary for yourself and for the different people. Kung may way pa that you can work with someone without experiencing that work and you love what you're doing, then you can choose to say. But pero kung wala, then the boundary is also stepping away from it.
Yes. Ang nakikita ko ngayon na team, no, parang how do we establish psychological safety then inside the organization? Now, what if there's a challenger? How do we properly guide or how do we accept yung mga innovative solutions? O kaya sometimes these are things that we don't want to hear, di ba? Or it's difficult for us to hear. Or baka mamaya it's also parang paano ba nila sinabi yung suggestion na yon, di ba? So it's a lot of things and sabi nga ni Maggie, babalik tayo dun sa HR policies that we have inside the organization.
Ang dagdag ko lang doon, no, na there's a technique that we share. It's like appeal to values. So kapag kontra-kontra talaga kayo at di kayo magkasundo, appeal to that person's values with empathy. Sabi mo na, "Uy, Gabby, I know naman how you value respect here in the work. Set it yourself, right? But I think what you did was disrespectful to me. And I know I just want to call it out because I want, you said now you value authenticity, no? So how direct you become, it depende yun sa tao, pero you can appeal to their values kasi sila masasabi nila, ay, oo nga, no, sinabi ko nga yan, gusto ko ng teamwork at collaboration, pero ganito. So, appeal to values, before combating and becoming aggressive or parang combative towards other people, then it increases your chances na may makikinig yung kausap.
Yes, and these are the difficult conversations. We
Yes.
should, alam mo yung in the Filipino culture kasi hindi tayo confrontative. Dahil nga, di
Up.
ba, we value being in harmony with everyone. Kaya
Yes.
it's also
Exactly.
a skill. It's a different skill set for us to develop para we will be able to address that as well. Miggy, ito naman yung susunod na question. Na I think a lot of us, parang nahihinder tayo gumawa ng purpose statement because we're afraid na, oh my God, it might not be perfect. So,
Hmm?
kung hindi siya perfect, hindi ko na lang siya sisimulan, hindi ko na siya gagawin. So, how do we deal with perfectionism?
Okay. Hindi kasi ako perfectionist, so hindi ko to Pero, I think if it's perfectionism in finding the right words, then bagay sa'yo yung search for your purpose statement because it's a constant search for what words find meaning and really hit you at the core. And ikaw lang yung makapagsabi nun. So the perfectionism in a way is there
Yes.
in that I did not stop refining and creating new versions of my purpose statement until it just hit me na, okay, boom, ito na yon. And doon siguro nagpaka-perfectionist ako. Pero it works for you that way. Na it's a constant
Mhm.
search. It's just the perfectionism might hinder you lang from choosing what actions you need to take to live out your purpose. So sana hindi doon, but more in finding out yung purpose statement mo. No?
Mhm. Yes. And para kung hindi ka naman perfectionist at gusto mo naman i-encourage yung ibang tao to also find out their purpose. How do you encourage coworkers to love their work and find purpose in the workplace?
I love this question. And we teach a course on inclusion and belonging. And one of the key principles we share there is kailangan first and foremost makita natin yung coworker natin for someone more than just a coworker. What do I mean? Naalala niyo yung question number 1 kanina, ano yung different roles and hats that you play? Father, mother, brother, K-pop fan, for example, ako K-pop fan ako. And you now recognize and acknowledge and accept the different identities and the different parts of our colleagues' lives to
Mhm.
make them feel more valued at work. Kasi hindi naman natin sila masasabi na, uy, Gabi, maghanap mo na yung purpose mo. Hindi. But you can actually say na, Gabi, kamusta ka? Like, growing up, what values
Yeah.
did you pick up from the people around you? And Gabi tells me,
Yeah.
and then, you know what? I can actually say, Gabi, nakita ko yung value of kindness sa'yo in this meeting, di ba? So because I
Mhm.
spotted that, Gabi will feel, uy, okay, so I'll do it again. Right?
Yeah.
So much like education principles, it's we highlight the behavior that they say they want to do and that you feel that it's aligned with who they say they are. Tapos papakita natin sa kanila yun. But it begins with knowing them beyond just work. Kasi yun yung sakit natin lahat. We know our colleagues just
Just
for their what. Not about their why, not about their how,
yeah.
but just about their what. So get to know their
Yes.
how and their why also.
Yes, I love that answer, Miggy, na parang sa positive workplaces naman, ang ginagawa namin is apart from knowing the values or like
Hmm.
yung iba pang why, yung strengths talaga of each
Yes.
person. I think in management strategies that's also what you do.
Very big
Pero
ang Clifton strengths din, oo.
yes, 'di ba? Parang kasi kung alam mo rin kung what strengths they bring, it's also easy to spot na, oh, these may be the things na
Yep.
pwede mong gawin or ikaw mismo, you are going to explore with them na how do you feel about doing these things and you will see
Yep.
what energizes them as well.
Exactly. Meaningful na yon pag nalilive out nila yung strengths at galing nila at work. Kahit wala pang
Yes.
purpose.
Yes. So yun yung mga building blocks natin and maybe our learners, kung may mga HR tayo dito right now, maybe that's one of the things that you can tap either management strategies or positive
Yep.
workplaces to help you explore or build those languages of values and strengths inside your organization. So I guess that's all the time we have for Q&A. Miggy, we're gonna send the questions to you. If
Or
there are some things that you want to answer, we can definitely post them so that we can share it with our learners this afternoon. So again, thank you for sharing this with us, Miggy. Nag-enjoy kami. This is actually a breath of fresh air because most of the time parang technical skills yung tinuturo natin in our free webinar. So it's so nice to be able to talk about meaning, to talk about purpose, and how it aligns to the work that we do. And ayan, nakikita mo ba sa chat box na a lot of people or a lot of our learners really appreciated what we did this afternoon. So to close and to, of course, give our utmost appreciation to you, Miggy, we're going to present to you our certificate of appreciation. So this certificate is issued to Miggy Rocos Aballero for generously providing their time and expertise as a resource speaker for the webinar Going Back to Purpose and Rediscovering Our Why, held on the 11th of October 2023, signed by our Chief Enabling Officer, John Baluyot, and our Chief Wellbeing Officer, Nikki Vergara. So let's give Miggy a warm round of applause, a virtual applause. And Miggy, do let us know, or if you have any last words for our learners this afternoon, please grace us with that.
thank you. Well, una, salamat sa lahat, not just the questions, but all your insights and everything that you shared with me. I learned equally from all of you as much as I hope you did from me. And I do hope that today's session kicks off a wonderful journey in not just discovering and articulating your purpose, but truly living it out. And I hope that it helps you find more meaning in what you do, not just at work, but in all the aspects of your life. So maraming salamat. This has been a highlight workshop to be running. Thank you also, Positive Workplaces, for having me. Kung dito si Nikki, wala siya, hindi ko alam kung nandito siya, pero Nikki, salamat for reaching out. Tagal ko nang kilala yan, and she was the one who reached out to me. So thank you so much.
Thank you also, Miggy. And yung paalala natin sa lahat, ano, Miggy, ang matatanggap nila kapag na-attendan nila yung all 3 sessions, yung raffle ticket na makukuha nila.
Tama. So 30 of you, kasama yung mga Positive Workplaces team. Hindi man brand new car, Chris, hindi ko po yung afford yun. Pero if all of you complete all 3 sessions, we will have a raffle where 30 of you will be invited for a special session on finding your why, your purpose statement. So in that session, we'll take you through the process of articulating your purpose statement just like mine or even better. So that's something to be excited about. See you. Hope to see you around.
Yes, thank you so much, Miggy and Management Strategy. So log in nyo na October 18, same time. Pam will be tackling building our personal brand, unlocking our potential. And on October 25, same time, mastering our energy, making time for what's meaningful with Jolina. Thank you so much. So we have a lot of first-timers here this afternoon. So please do follow us if you enjoy the content that we brought to you this afternoon. Syempre, meron din kaming mga thought leadership posts about yung mga common, pare-parehong pinagdadaanan natin in the workplace. So recently, we just posted yung perfect applicant na ba ako. Hindi ko alam kung may mga nakaka-relate na entry position yung ina-applyan natin, pero kailangan may 2 to 5 years experience ka na. So let us help you navigate the world of work. How can we practice anger management, and how can we build a culture of recognition and appreciation? So please do follow us on Facebook. We're going to share the link in our chat box, or you can just simply scan the QR code that you can see on the screen. And if you want us to run learning sessions with you. So kanina, di ba, napag-usapan natin, how do we build a strengths language inside our organization, or how do we establish psychological safety inside our organization? You may reach out to our Wellbeing Services Officer, Alma. So just send us a message at thrive@positiveworkplaces.org if you want us to run a session for your organization. And now the most awaited, ito talaga yung most awaited, no? Hindi yung session itself, but of course, we'd love to hear from you. So we're sharing with you our post-evaluation form. in the chat box, or you can just simply